And last but definitely not least, the main character, Goku. Goku went to train at Kami's lookout. Kami was like, "Well, take care of that tail, boy. We don't need all that shit going down. I understand some things that you might not be aware of, and we'll cut that tail off, and you'll be all right." And then he also trained him to be faster, stronger, more durable, and everything else. He gave him weighted clothes, and he appeared at the World Martial Arts Tournament 23, Budokai Tenkaichi 23. And when he did that, he was taller. He looked like a man, because he was 19 years old at that time. So this young man went into the tournament. He fought against King Chappa, beat him again. He beat everybody else too in the prelims. Got to the final and beat his future wife, Chi-Chi. Hit her with wind gust. Boom! She hit the wall and she was like, "Oh, wow, that hurt." Goku's like, "Well, you wanted to fight, so you got what you got. And I wasn't gonna hurt you. So then they ended up, becoming a thing. But then he moved on to fight against Tien Shinhan, who he had fought in the finals in the last tournament. And this time, Goku was definitely more powerful than Tien. At first it looked like they were evenly matched, but then Goku takes off his clothes, and then it's like, a world of difference. And he's like, "Damn, Goku, now I have, more, I have to train more to catch up to you again." And he's like, "Yeah, it was good fight and everything else, but I have to fight against my junior, Piccolo. I understand that's Piccolo reincarnated, into, a younger, Namekian warrior. And his body is, or he's like Kami's second half. He knew that part about things. Then he fought against Piccolo. He proved his speed and everything else. He even got eaten by Piccolo, when he grew big and he fought him, had him spit him out. He used a super Kamehameha on Piccolo as well. And he stood on Piccolo's, super explosion wave, and just tanked it. Everybody else got down in a bunker type thing, and so they wouldn't die. He just stood there and took the attack, and it was like, all right, and then he got in a sprinter stance, and then he ran out of melee attacks for days. Boom, 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 boom. All these combos on Piccolo, fucking his ass up, real good. But it wasn't enough because he got shot in the chest, and he was almost dead after Piccolo did that. But Piccolo had nothing left, and Goku still had a little bit left. He shot himself up into the sky, and then he came down with a headbutt, and that's how he won the tournament. Knocked him out of the tournament and saved the world at the same time. Kami was like, "I'll kill this guy. He's evil, pure evil." Goku's like, "No, we'll leave him alive, and I want him as a sparring partner moving forward." And then Goku, I won't want to say set off into the sunset, but he, had Chi-Chi, married her, and then he had, Gohan, and then Dragon Ball was over, right? Goku, his strength's 83, 82 for his speed, 81 for his durability, and 82 for his endurance, 80 for his intelligence, and 86 for his experience, 87 for his close skills, and 83 for his range skills, 81 for his recoup, and 83 for his axe. So overall power score is 82.8 for Goku at the end of Dragon Ball. Be cool, Juan Corner.